A little bit on what Bobby was saying there. I really feel like that was a real word for me, and I believe for you too. In Psalm 77, I want to just point out a couple things. Starting at verse 7, he says, "Will the Lord cast off forever, and will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Does his promise fail forevermore? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in his anger shut up his tender mercies?" And he says, this is a psalm of Asaph. He says, "This is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High." I think one thing that we can say that when we're in the midst of affliction or trouble, the tendency for us is to say, "Where's God?" Right? "God, where are you at? Lord, why am I going through this?" We begin to ask why. Asaph is saying here, "Lord, if you cast off forever, that means is God done with you?" Well, sure hope not, because then you have no hope. Is his mercy gone? Is God done showing mercy? Has he forgotten? Are you just a number of the billions of people that have existed on planet Earth? And maybe God just forgot you. There's a story, I don't know the name of it, but it's a kid's story. But it's about these wooden dolls. And in this town, all these wooden dolls, they would give each other stickers. If they didn't like the way you looked, or you did things wrong, they give you a gray sticker. So a gray dot. So you go around getting a gray dot. And if they liked what you did, and if you were handsome or you looked nice, they'd give you a gold sticker, a gold star. And there's one little guy, I forget his name, he had Punchinello, that's his name, Punchinello. Anybody heard this story before? All right, it has a point. Punchinello had only gray dots. And he was kind of goofy looking little guy. Remember, these are all made out of wood. These are dolls. This is not a true story. And so one day he met a girl, and the girl said, "Well, you don't have anything on you. No dots, no stars." Because all Punchinello wanted was stars. And she said, "Well, that's because I visit Eli." "Who's Eli?" Well, he knew Eli was a man who lived up on the hill. And he was the maker. He handcrafted all these little dolls that lived in Wemmicksville, I think it's called. So anyways, one time Punchinello was going to visit Eli. He didn't want to, but he was scared to. But when he finally visited Eli, Eli said, "Come on in, Punchinello." He's like, "You know my name?" He says, "Of course I know your name. I made you." And so he came in and he began to talk about, "I see you got some gray dots on you. You got some bad marks." He says, "Yeah, that's my life. I get them all the time." So he picked up Punchinello and was talking to him, and he said, "Punchinello, you're special to me." He says, I don't make mistakes." And he says, "You mean I'm special to you?" "I'm not special to anybody." He says, "You are special to me because I made you. I have a purpose for you." I'm adding a little bit on there, right? "I have a purpose for you. I have a calling for you. I made you special." And he says, "What I want you to do, Punchinello, is I want you to go back, but I want you to visit me regularly." He says, "And as you visit me regularly, something special is going to happen." So as Punchinello is walking out the door, he begins to think, "He really cares for me." And as he thought that, a sticker fell off. And that was the end. So the cry in all of our hearts is, "God, have you forgotten me? And the eternal answer is, I've not forgotten you. I've made you. You are mine. You belong to me. You know, as Christians, we think of when we get saved that I've made a decision, which you have, and then it's kind of, I'm on my own now. You know, but the Bible clearly says that when you give your life to Jesus, when you give your life to the Father and are born again, you become His property. Yes. You're no longer yours. See, you don't have authority over your own body. I mean, I became a Christian at 21, so for 21 years, you know, I was under my parents' authority, but I kind of did what I wanted to do. But when you become a Christian, you are bought. You're bought. It's a price, and boy, it's some price. Salvation is free, but it's not cheap. It costs Jesus his life. See, so some people, now you can look at that in a couple ways. You can say, God just doesn't want me to have fun anymore. God is just up there. He doesn't want me to enjoy life anymore. He just wants to tell me what to do. I've heard people say that. Christianity is just a bunch of rules. Thou shalt. Either thou shalt or thou shalt not. You can't please the heathen. They're always unhappy. Right? Or you can look at it this way. Hey, I'm no longer mine. That means my life is in God's hands. My times are in God's hands. God doesn't make junk, right? We've heard that before. I don't make no junk, right? God does not make something that He wants to throw away when He made you. And when you come home to Him, you are His. Just like with Punchinello. He belonged to Eli. Well, we belong to the Lord God. And He says, this was my infirmity. You know, I know when I've been in periods of really hardships, whether it's physical pain. Have you ever had a physical pain that just lasted a long time? It doesn't take long before it wears you down. Right? I mean, I get lower back pain occasionally.